Hello, awesome day to you. In today's session, I'll be extracting data from a mumbled up format and populating into a relatable desired format using the combination of the following Excel functions: length, find, substitute, mid, and trim. Column A contains the data we will be extracting. Looking at cell A2, we see the way the data appears in a cell. It contains multiple headers, values, normal space, and new line space. This applies to every other populated cells in column A. The aim is to extract the values in each cell in column A so it comes out as seen in range E2 to I2. Let me delete this. Having studied the data, it is observed that each cell contains same 5 headers and different values for each header. And the client would have also confirmed that there are just 5 details in each cells. Hence the reason for the headers in column E to I. Let's go through the solution breakdown that extracted the first ID value. Keep in mind that the data arrangement is constant for all populated cells in column A. First of all, we get the header start position, which is 1. We use the find function. Then the length of the header text, which is 2. Then the header value start position by adding up the header start position and the header text length, which gives us 3. If we look at it manually, we would see that this third position already eliminates the header text, which is ID. Then we get the next header position. Please note that the term next header is referring to the header immediately after the column of the header value we want to get. That's this name. We will then get the length of the ID value by subtracting the header value start position from the next header position, which is 18. This is the area we want to get between this space immediately after D of the ID and the space before N of name. After which the start position and length of value gotten is used in a mid function to get the desired value. We'll also remove the leading and trailing space using the trim, and the new line spaces will replace it with nothing. To further expatiate on the removal of these spaces, let's look at this. I'll copy this and paste here value. If I open this down, you can see what's happening. I can scroll down, you can see the new line spaces I was talking about. But when you use trim alone, it doesn't remove this new line space. Trim only removes these leading spaces you can see here. You have to specifically remove these new line spaces. Let's go back. After applying everything, let's take this one and paste in that same spot. Let's bring it down. Yep. So you see, I'm scrolling down, but it's not going. I place the cursor again. I'm scrolling down. It's not going. So that's that. So all spaces have been cleared. So I can go ahead to delete this. A little thing to note Chart 10 represents new line spaces in Microsoft Excel. That's why I've used it as the old text. So should you want to replace new line space, remember to use chart 10 because that is what represents new line spaces. Many people are not aware of this. That's why I had to bring it to your notice. We now have our first ID value, which is 3221. And here it is, 3221. To use this constructed formula to get the values for the columns, we would insert absolute referencing for the cells containing the mumbled up data, header, and the next header, respectively. So let me copy this and paste here. First things first, absolute referencing for the mumbled up data. If you notice, I'm only putting the absolute reference for the column because the row is going to be dragged down to 12, so I can't make it constant. It's just the column that is constant. Then for the header, we are making only the row constant because the column will change when you get to the next column. Same with the next column header. Let's see the effect of our changes. You notice this last column is not correct. That is because we are using the header and the next header to get the length of the ID value for each of them. And this last one does not have a next header. So we would improvise here. Instead of the next header position, we will use the length of the mumbled up data minus the header value start position to get the length of the date value. And we're good to go. Let's autofill. And autofit. Voila. There are other possible ways to achieve this task, but I chose this approach because of dynamics. Should you want to come up with your own method, ensure to consider using a dynamic approach. FYI, this is a tip of the iceberg compared to the client's data that had this task. It had about 70 headers in a cell, that is 70 columns. With some more complexity, trust I had to incorporate more functions and maintain a dynamic approach, especially because I wouldn't want to be writing 70 different constructed formulas. I actually used two constructed formulas, and this is because of the last column header as explained earlier. With the dynamic approach, it will be easy for you to effect change if there is an additional header or header position change. All you need to do is insert the extra column and place the headers in the column header according to the new header arrangement. Due to my non-disclosure of data policy, I had to come up with a small mock data which we just worked on. I wish I could show you the real data so you see what I'm talking about. This is it for today. I hope I've been able to explain this process to a reasonable extent. Do have a wonderful day. Thank you.